guys, welcome back to Lehigh River Subdivision. I'm Ian, and today we're going to be doing layout update number 25. Before we get into the layout update, I want to tell you about a little trip me, my wife, and Cameron made back in December. So one of my subscribers, by the name of Rich, volunteers at a museum in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So he told us that they had model trains set up for Christmas. So they do it from the beginning of December or the end of November all the way to the end of December. They had trains on Saturdays and Sunday. They had an HO layout, and upstairs on the second floor of the museum they had a garden scale or G scale set up with I forget how many tracks there were. I think they had 7 G scale trains running at one time, which was pretty cool. But I want to talk about the museum just a little bit. When I'm done talking here, I'm going to throw up a couple pictures. When we go places as a family, I don't really record because I'm there to spend time with my family. I know a lot of people like to see that thing, but when I go to spend time with my family, I don't like to be recording because I feel like I'm going to miss out on quality time with my wife and son. So with that being said, Rich was kind enough to take some pictures for me and send them over so I can include them in the video. But the museum itself, the museum's called America On Wheels, and it's in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and it's a beautiful, like the architecture on the outside of the museum is just beautiful. It's very nice. The inside is just as nice. It's 2 floors. They do have an elevator inside and ramps, so it's all wheelchair accessible. But they have some cars and bikes. They have a Mack truck display inside. They have a Mack cab in there for the kids that they can get inside. There's a TV in front. They can drive the big rig. It's really, really, really worth looking into if you live in the Lehigh Valley area, or if you live close by over in New Jersey or down by Philly. It's worth the trip, especially if you like cars. Model trains is not my only hobby. I do enjoy vehicles. I do like to look at vehicles. I don't want to have one that, it's not something that I have right now, but I've had vehicles in the past, and it's another hobby of mine. So I enjoyed going to look at it. Some of my favorite pieces from the museum, which I don't have a picture of, was they had a 80s to early 90s style Corvette that had the Twin Towers painted on it, and it was a remembrance for 9/11. That was a really fascinating car. They had a really cool personal collection that's there till May or April, May of this year. It's on the second floor. That was worth checking out. They change their displays out over time. So some vehicles come and go. You could go one time, and next time you go, you won't see the same thing. So that's some nice things they got going on at the museum. So I want to thank Rich for inviting us down to look at the museum and see the trains, because I had no clue this museum was even there. So it was really nice of him to give us the heads up, and we went down and we had a wonderful time. I think we were there 2 hours before Cameron had enough, which for a 14-month-old, that's a long time. The other parents out there, you know. So he did really well, and he enjoyed it. He enjoyed the cars just as much as the trains. And so one of the other cool pieces that they do have there, the last one I want to talk about, is they have one of the first automobiles in the United States, and it was built in Allentown. And the guy built it so he could get over the mountain from Allentown to Coopersburg, which is like Quakertown area, to, at the end of the day, he'd go visit his girlfriend. So he built a automobile because the horses struggled at night over the hill. I believe that's what Rich told me. If not, he can correct me in the comments. But I want to just thank you, Rich, for the awesome gesture of letting us know it was there. And Rich volunteers at the museum, and he is very knowledgeable on cars, and I probably could listen to him all day talk about what he knows, because he's very, very knowledgeable. and that was really cool, Rich, and we appreciate that. Okay, so the other nice gesture that Rich gave to us was he gifted me this Broadway Limited Reading Lines Heritage Unit, Norfolk Southern Heritage Unit, which I was blown away by the niceness, and I still am. I can't believe it. Thank you, Rich, for this. So this locomotive is having the typical Broadway Limited issues, and it was for Rich. He thought maybe it was his tight radiuses, but after we talked, I was having the same issues here, and I have 17.5 and 19-inch radius. So we'll be working on that at some point, and that will be a video. Now let's get to the other part of, so part of the deal for Rich giving me the Broadway Limited engine was he gave 5 other engines he'd like me to repair, or 4 other engines, I can't remember, I'll count them, to fix. The decoders went bad in them, so I'm gonna get them all fixed up and get them back to him so he can run them on his layout. So I'm going to work on those, and that was the gesture for working on his locomotives. And he's a real big fan of the channel and the videos I put out. So I really appreciate all that, Rich. So with that being said, I'm going to get into the layout update. So for this layout update, I really wanted to have the bridge back in and the backdrop up. I will talk about that as we get into the video. So I didn't get to the stuff, the backdrop and the bridge. It probably would have been in already, but me and my wife both got sick. I missed some work. Cameron's molars are coming in, so it's just been chaotic, and we're just getting back to normal this week. So I didn't get to the backdrop or the viaduct. The viaduct, I posted a picture of it today. I'm not going to talk much about it. That's going to have its whole own video coming out down the road. So most of the work has been done back here, and that's what we're going to look at today. So sorry I talked a little bit longer in the beginning of this video than I usually wanted to, but I've been wanting to make the video to thank Rich for his awesome gesture, and to thank him for the awesome experience that he let my family have by letting us know about the Wheels of Time Museum. And now I'm here letting you guys know about that. So before we jump into around the layout, I'm going to post the pictures from the Wheels of Time Museum, play a little music with it. I hope you enjoy, and we'll get into the layout update. Okay guys, over here in the viaduct scene, as you can see, it still looks like the picture I posted at the end of 2021. The viaduct's still out. One of the main reasons I took it out is I'm putting the backdrop up on this section of the layout. I had rolled the backdrop out and have it all cut and ready to go in plate, or I didn't cut it yet. It's all measured and marked out. I'm gonna cut it when we put it up, but I need Sam to help me. I cut the top of the divider down. I believe it was about another 4 inches. So over there where it comes up onto the higher portion of the benchwork, that is now 10.5 inches from the ground to the top, and it's 18 inches to the base in the viaduct valley. So I cut the divider down on this whole side, going all the way back to the far wall that you can see in the back there. And then I went ahead and took some black craft paint and painted the whole top edge and around the hole where the track for the lower loop goes underneath the bench work. I figured that would help hide anything. You can see now, if I stand here and film from this angle, you can see the whole layout. And the same works if I come over to this side. You can now see all the way in on the inner portion, and I really get a good shot of the yard tracks now. So coming back over here, I did mess with the road. If you remember, there's that bad spot in here. It's a little dusty. There we go. There's that bad spot that ripped from the tape. So I went to Walmart and picked up a couple things the other day, and they had this pavement matte color in the craft paint. So I picked it up and I figured that'd be perfect for asphalt patches. So I went ahead and made a patch there. I used the blue painter's tape. I hate that crap. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It never does. It never holds a nice edge, and it doesn't get like hand cutting it in. So I'm gonna have to go back over and fine tune that, because I'm not happy with the lines that the painter's tape left. But I put the colored pencil back over the top to remark the line, and I'm happy with the way that color for the patches. And I tried a little piece there. So what I'm gonna do is come back through and do some more patches, and I'll make a part 4 of the road work for that. And back here you can see I took a little fine tip Sharpie and just drew a little crack. I'm not sure how happy I am with that look. I don't know if it's too shiny. There's just something that I'm not sure if I want to go ahead and do that over the whole road yet, because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it doesn't look right for some reason. So that's it for the work I've done in the viaduct area. Okay, I did come over and do some work in the Lehigh Gorge area, and I take a hobby knife I have with a crappy blade, and I trimmed up the concrete cap to get that nice shape to it. And then you can see there's some spots where it's not perfect. It kind of looks like it's deteriorated and broke off over time there at the bottoms. And I really like that look. And once I do the accent paint on the stone through there, because I have not done that. And what I mean by that is if I turn the camera and we look at the rock wall over here, it has, you know, some different colors coming through. So that is moved along and painted. I just got to do the finish on it yet, and then this whole rock wall needs to be washed and weathered. So that is the work there. Moving up along the river valley here, you can see that I had showed you I built this section in. I got the plywood on it, and I started putting in the foam to start building up the river base going up through here. Now you can see I have clamps on holding that piece in to glue in, because I used latex to put it down, painter's caulking, and it's almost set up, but then that piece will be in. Okay, there was something I want to show you before I get too far ahead here. I needed to shim up all these piers so the bridge would sit really nice and level like it is now. And it was about the thickness of a piece of styrene. I have the 0.2 or 0.020. So I took a sheet of that and cut it so it would fit in here where I put the plaster before. And I marked, as you can see there, with a fine tip Sharpie around all the way around the outside of all the piers, and then I pulled the piers out and I super glued them onto the styrene, so they're now all fastened, and it actually added some stability to the bridge. And the one other thing I had to fix was this concrete abutment I made wasn't meeting the bridge up here. So now I got rid of all the gaps. by making this shim. And what this shim is just a piece of foam board, and then I glued a piece of styrene on top of that, and then I just cut little pieces of styrene and shimmed it till it was where it needed to be. And I did the same over here. Now I'm just gonna take some low temp glue, and then I'm gonna glue that in place on top of that shim as this all gets filled in. That's why I'm trying to get this up to the level of the foam. I'm gonna put in 1-inch foam in here and bring the river up. So the river will be about 1 inch below the bridge or so, maybe a little less. But the river will be from this abutment over to about somewhere in between these two piers, and then this will be land up to here. So that's just a little bit on what I was doing with this bridge, and it really made this really sturdy. And then if we come down here, you can see how nice and flat that whole bridge section is. So I just wanted to show that. Some people might ask, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll show you filling that in. Okay, so I made some of this soupy consistency stuff. I'm just gonna try to pour it in here with the bridge in place because I don't want to take the chance of moving. Alright, so that I'll let go like that, and that I'll smooth out any bit here yet. Like that's pretty high there. And then whatever I got up a little bit on the edges don't matter because that's going to get filled in. But once this sets up now, I'll be able to take the bridge out and work around the piers. So I just wanted to show what I was doing to set these piers in place. Alright, I just wanted to show you guys now that it's dry here. It's nice and solid. It's not perfect, but I'm putting foam over it, so it's good enough. My piers are solid now, so I can pop the bridge up off the piers and work this whole terrain. And I went ahead and low temp glue gun the abutment in place. So this layout update basically was a bunch of little odds and ends that had to get done around the layout, like the bump out rate over there to continue working on this scene, and the riverbed. So basically what I got set up is I got two big projects going on with the viaduct, the backdrop, and the bridge itself. I hope to get to work on that this weekend, weather permitting, for the painting of the bridge. And if me and Sam have time to get down here together to hang the backdrop. So that's going to conclude this layout update. But as you can see, I'm setting myself up for some nice progress on this side of the layout as well. So that's going to conclude this. I want to thank Rich again for inviting me, Sam, and Cam down to the America on Wheels Museum. And I suggest you guys give that a check out and go take a trip there and check out the vehicles. You'll have a good time. We did. So I'll say this is the end of this update, and I want to say we'll see you down the tracks. Take care, everybody.